Hi, Professor Wainaina here, your 5 minutes teacher on education, childhood and youth, and all things school. Welcome. Boy child. The boy child crisis is a complex, multifaceted issue that has roots deeply embedded in the historical structures of patriarchy. For centuries, patriarchal systems have dominated societies, privileging men while systematically suppressing women. This imbalance created a social order that, while seemingly stable, was inherently fragile. Martin Luther King Jr. aptly observed that the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. The shift towards gender equality was inevitable and is unstoppable. It has exposed and intensified the crisis facing the boy child today. To understand this phenomenon, it is crucial to examine this patriarchal reset and its historically corrective nature. Patriarchy, by definition, is a system where men hold primary power and predominate in roles of political leadership, moral authority, social privilege, and more significantly, control of property. Women, on the other hand, are relegated to subordinate positions, often confined to domestic spheres, and denied opportunities for education, employment, and political participation. This system, whose origin and persistence in human societies is still hotly debated in corridors of academia, has persisted for millennia, reinforcing gender roles and expectations that limit individual potential based purely on gender. However, history has taught us that power based on oppression is unsustainable. Patriarchy's foundation on the suppression of women created an imbalanced society that disregarded the capabilities and contributions of half of its population. Over time, as movements for gender equality gained momentum, the cracks in the patriarchal structure became apparent. Women's suffrage, feminist movements, and contemporary gender equality initiatives have all contributed to dismantling these oppressive systems, pushing society towards a more equitable state. The current boy-child crisis can be seen as a historical correction, a resetting of societal norms and structures that have long favored males. As gender equality advances, boys and young men are now faced with new challenges that their predecessors did not encounter. These challenges stem from the dismantling of traditional male privileges and the need to adapt to a world where gender equality is becoming the norm. This has led to, one, identity and role confusion. With the rise of gender equality, gender roles, both male and female, are no longer rigidly defined. Boys must now navigate a landscape where success is not solely based on traditional masculine traits. Two, educational disparities. As educational systems correct for gender, boys have fallen behind. And three, we are dealing with mental health issues. The pressure to conform to traditional notions of masculinity, that is stoicism, emotional repression, and dominance, that pressure conflicts with the modern emphasis on emotional intelligence and vulnerability. This conflict has contributed to rising mental health issues among boys and young men, including high rates of depression and suicide. Some cultural Puritans and religious zealots argue for a return to traditional patriarchal values as a solution to the boy-child crisis. They believe reinstating the old order will restore stability and direction for young men. However, this perspective is fundamentally flawed. History does not move backwards, and the more they push for a reversal of the gains of gender equality, the more we lose the opportunity to help boys cope with the new inevitable and irreversible reality. These fellows, these Puritans, are simply having the wrong conversation. To address the boy-child crisis effectively, parents, educators, and policymakers must focus on inclusive strategies that promote growth and adaptation, and this may include implementation of educational practices that engage boys, addressing their unique maturity patterns and learning styles, and encouraging active participation. They can also foster environments where boys can understand and explore this new reality and seek help when needed. The boy-child crisis is a natural consequence of the historical shift towards gender equality. While challenging, it also, in my view, presents an opportunity to build a more just and inclusive society. By understanding the roots of this crisis and adapting forward-thinking solutions through re-education, we can support the healthy development of all children, regardless of gender. Thank you for your time. See you in the next lesson.